Aussie Lawn Stars is the first podcast in Australia for the lawn and garden maintenance industry. Hi, I'm Gary Ashton, and my goal is to help businesses survive and thrive with a sharp focus on business systems, skills, and checklists that will ensure you know what will help you stay in business and succeed. With an extensive back catalogue of interviews from our diverse industry, I look for stories, the success tips, and the hard lessons learned. Sometimes we focus on tools and trailer setups and the brands that are the backbone of our support network, but mostly I am driven to find you evidence of what you can do or what you can change to ensure you win. Welcome to Aussie Lawn Stars. I have Jabir with me. How are you?
Good, mate. How are you?
Oh, look, I'm starting to get a little bit sick, so if you hear a cough come through on this interview, I apologise in advance.
But that's all good, mate.
It's a rainy, almost winter day. We're like a couple of weeks out from winter starting here, and I've got the hoodie on, sitting in the dungeon. Almost need to light a fire in the dungeon.
Nice.
I got a little bit of a sniffle going.
Here also pretty cold day today and raining today and tomorrow.
Yeah, I think all this week is looking a bit dicey. I was hoping the weekend would come good so I can go riding on my motorbike, but it might be another weekend at home again.
Yeah, it's pretty wet.
Yeah, it's we're supposed to get for my area, so Newcastle area, we are supposed to get somewhere around 50 mils of rain tonight. I think 50 to 80 mils.
Oh, nice. Yeah, we're supposed to get this few weeks ago. Actually, we got really dry autumn this year.
Yes, we certainly have. We had probably between Christmas and February, we had a decent amount of rain, but then it's dried out again.
Yeah, true.
Yeah. So, Jabir, let's give people some perspective. A lot of people will have come across Jabmo, which is your business online. Yeah.
Correct. Yep.
So your online presence, if people have seen Jabmo, they will have some awareness of you. You are located in Orange, am I right?
That's correct, yes.
Yep. And judging by the shirt you're wearing, you work with Jim's Mowing.
So,
yeah. So, Jabir, I guess we want to give people a bit of a background, tell them a little bit about who you are and where you've come from. So, tell me, Jab, is Jab your nickname, or is that just what you put for your business?
You can call me Jab. So many people started calling me now Jab, so you can call me Jab. That's so good.
Good, Jab. Your history. Now I know, but for the people listening, you're not from Australia. You have moved to Australia. Well, how long ago was this?
That's correct. I moved here 2015 on my birthday.
2015 came to Australia.
That's correct. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so we're talking 11 years ago. Now, judging by your lack of grey hair, I'm guessing you're like 22.
Thank you. Yeah, I came here when I was 22. So
you're 33. I'm doing the maths quickly. 33 years old. You're still a young chick. I was 33 when I started my business.
Oh, okay. I started when I was 31, so...
There you go.
Yeah.
Okay. So that means for your first 8 or 9 years in Australia, you were doing something else. You weren't into running a business. So what's your career background look like?
I came in 2015, started doing a few different sort of jobs. Started doing from cleaning, then I started working for DHL, got my forklift ticket that time.
Oh, yeah.
Started working for Linfox, DHL, and Nestle that time. Did that for a few years and started getting boring. And had a visa issue too, like we couldn't get the permanent residency. We came for as a student.
Okay.
Later on, I decided to study cookery. 2018, I started doing that. 2020, I finished it. During that time, I started doing some chefing job in Sydney, some restaurants. COVID hit that time. Most of my friends gone from Sydney. We used to play soccer. It was nice and fun there. And I was sort of myself, and I thought, no, I think it's time to move somewhere. Started applying for the jobs all over Australia. Luckily got a first job in Perth, but I couldn't fly because of the restrictions.
Yeah.
Then I got a job in Orange, Orange X Services Club, and moved here 2020.
Yeah, okay.
And ever since, did that for 4 years. And after that I started doing this.
Yeah, okay. So, yeah, one of my questions was going to be, did you start in Orange? But you're just giving us an indication. So you had a job elsewhere. You got the job in Orange that brought you there.
Yes, I got the job in Orange. Then I moved here and worked there as a commis chef. 2 years later, got sort of next level up, and they put me in a different facility here in Orange, and I started running the show there.
Yeah.
Was sort of not head chef, but I was running the show. A few other chefs were there to help me, and early stages was nice, challenging and stuff. And when you do that for a year or two, then it's like nothing. So that time I decided, I think it started getting boring. Nothing wrong with the job, anything, good pay, and really nice place to work. And I love chefing, don't get me wrong, and I want to do something, I started thinking, and slowly got into this mowing. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I've talked to a few people that have been chefs, and depending on where you work as to whether that's a great experience or a not so good experience.
That's correct.
It seems like being a chef, you often get really long hours at all ends of the day. So depending on the type of work you're doing as to whether you start early or whether you work really late, but often you work really late into the evening.
Yeah.
That's not so good if you've got kids and family, and there's a bit of a strain on the marriage sometimes when you're doing that.
Yeah. For me, it was really good actually, because we do from Tuesday to Saturday, 7:30 to 3 o'clock.
Yeah.
On Saturday, we do night shift, like from 5:30 to 9 o'clock. That's it. So for me, it wasn't really that kind of hard job. Yeah, only one day split shift, and rest of the day is like day job.
Yeah, now I was born in the Pacific Islands. You wouldn't tell it by my skin colour, right? But I was born in Tonga, lived in Fiji for 4 years. Now, because of this, Fiji has a fairly strong Fijian Indian culture. I love Indian food.
Nice.
So, I really love a great curry. I'm now been diagnosed with celiac disease, so I can't eat roti anymore, but I love roti.
Okay.
So, my question for you there, given what I can see, other people who are watching this, I know that you look Indian. I'm guessing you came from India?
That's correct, yeah.
Yeah.
Not from India, Kerala.
Being a chef, do you have good skills in cooking Indian food, or are they predominantly in other varieties?
We do not a whole lot of Indian stuff, because, as you know, India is huge, and the food also, so many varieties there. We do basic stuff and general things I can make.
Yeah.
Otherwise, mainly more Western stuff, pub style. Yeah.
Yeah, pub style food. So a lot of steak, a lot of grilled fish, grilled chicken,
correct,
pasta, pizza.
Yep. Yeah.
I'm slightly jealous. I don't mind cooking for fun, but I hate cooking for family when I have to cook. Like if it's just like, just got to make food so people can eat. It's like, don't want to.
I still love to cook though. Like I love to cook for big groups, not for like 1 or 2 people. Okay, and I can do that by myself. Even someone come over home, friends or family, I can manage it. 30 people, I can do it. Easy.
So I should head out to Dubbo or Orange when Jim's is having one of their catch-ups and say, hey, let's organise for Jab to do a big cook-up for the Jim's crew, and I'll come out and see how good it is.
Yeah, sure. There is one happening in next month. In my place, actually, there is the gym.
Okay.
I think Jim's
In
franchisees and family. Yeah, June 6th, I think.
Well, when I interviewed Mitch, he's your franchisor, I was talking to him about the possibility of coming out and saying, that was back in March, because I was talking maybe end of March, but I ended up going to Melbourne in March, so it's like, I know, didn't work out. But yeah, might have to have a chat to Mitch about coming out there sometime, catching up. That'd be good.
Sure. Come this way.
Yeah, so when in June is that one?
6th, I think, on a Saturday. And
That's
then
that's the long weekend. That's probably going to be a bit much of a challenge to organise.
is that long weekend? But there is Gravely coming, Walker coming, I think Lawn Tips, a few other companies coming too, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is the long weekend, the June long weekend.
I need to check. I don't know. Is it?
Yeah, I'm pretty confident. The reason I know this is because I've been trying to organise the long weekend already. So.
Oh, yeah. That is, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, something to look at, see if we can work out.
Yeah, sure.
So, other than cooking pub food, you gotten bored with the job there. Good job, but got bored with it. So was your brain geared towards starting a business at this point, or was it just looking at different alternatives and what could you do for a job?
I always wanted to do something on my own, and because of my situation, like I came here and need to have a visa and stuff. By the third year, got my visa things sorted out. So then, I was thinking, what can I do? Like, I want to do something sort of business. Everybody wants to do business nowadays, So I started doing support work for a cash shop for a few months, and I didn't really like it because that's not my type of job. And a few weeks later, when the company I work for, they're from Melbourne, they contacted me and said, look, we need some help, because I do have trailers that time. Because I flip cars, fix cars. I like anything with a motor on it. So I do cars, motorbike, mowers, anything. I like those stuff. That was my side hustle. So they know that I got a trailer. So they contact me and said, we need to move one house from Orange to another house in Orange to different street. We couldn't find anyone. Can you come in? Can you go and help us? And I'm like, sure, I can do that. Because anything, I really didn't do a professional moving service or anything.
Yeah.
And they asked me, can you send us a code? I'm like, okay, sure, I will do. And when I did send the code, I rang them and said, look, I can do this for you. I know you got around 8 or 9 houses that time. I know someone else mowing it. Could you give that to me? And they said, sure, send us a code again. I'm like, okay. So I did install some random app and didn't know what to code or anything. I did send that, probably $900 for 8 houses. Few were really tiny ones and rest were quite decent. They accepted it. I did that moving house. Then 2 weeks later, I started doing the mowing job for them. And I realized it's pretty good for a day job. I was making 900 plus GST, which is good. Awesome. Yeah. So I see that potential there, and I start digging stuff like, when you want to know something, start Googling and checking videos. That's where you came up. Jim's Mowing, YouTube came up, and what's that other one?
Luke Smith.
Luke Smith came up, yeah. And start learning stuff about this. And the thing is, since I moved to Australia, probably I called 2 times to mow my lawn from a contractor back in Sydney. Okay. So don't have much idea. I don't know how much to charge, quote. And 2018, I remember I paid for my lawn $220 2 times. It was not a big house or anything. It was an average lawn.
Yeah.
but then again start learning stuff, and that's where I'm like, okay, let me resign the job and let's do this. So I do have Mover and Whippersnipper and stuff. Did had a Husqvarna ride-on that time. It's not a commercial one.
Yeah.
Yeah, started doing that and print some flyers and stuff. Made up a company with my brother. I asked my brother to help me too.
Yeah.
Yeah, and started doing that for a few weeks, and I couldn't turn any jobs, honestly. And I knew something is lacking, something I'm not doing right. Other than these 9 jobs, I didn't have any new ones. I didn't know how to approach, and I was pretty bad at customer service. And that's where Jim's had pop up one day, and I did put a request. And 20 minutes later, Dan called me. I did had all these questions on me. I did ask every single question I could remember that time, and he's a good salesperson, that's for sure.
Yeah.
He made me convince, and he said, it is a good opportunity for you. And at that time, only one other gyms in Orange.
Yeah, okay.
And what I did was like I put a request to quote my place, and he quoted me. I'm like, okay, this is good. So I got the price range, and I started knowing a little bit, and resigned the job, like I said, and did that for 2 months. Didn't really work, and I started I joined in gyms in January, and I started working with them in February onwards. Yeah.
So 2 years ago?
Yeah. Year and a bit.
Yeah. Okay, so less than 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So, all good. Okay, so Dan sold you on the franchise option, and given that background, what you're saying, you were sort of guessing on customer service and how to do a good job, make sure it looked professional prior to that. So gyms would have helped you to establish clear expectations around how to set your business up to make sure that get all of the systems right. But, how long did it take you to go from calling Dan to when you made that call and started with gyms?
I did call Dan after I resigned the job, because I didn't want to put my feet in 2 places. So decided resigning. Resigned in November, but after a month, I took a holiday. After that, for a month, I did take a holiday to back in India. That's where I print a bit more flyers and door hangers and stuff. Was getting ready for this, and so a few weeks in between.
Yeah. Okay.
After resigning, and a month after, I joined gyms. I mean, I made the call, okay, I'm going to join it. I put the first initial training money, and the next availability were in January, mid-January.
Yeah, okay. So, Jab, one of the things I sort of wanted to cover here is in terms of your social media presence is gathering a whole lot of attention, and it means you get a little bit of criticism here and there from strangers, right?
Yeah.
Now, for people that listen to my podcast, they are predominantly not the people online that are just going to have a go and attack you for something to do. They're more people who are going, can I do the same thing? And the question I want to just, we'll come at it a couple of times, but at this point, just talking about when you started with gyms. CatchPro has been a supporter of Aussie Lawn Stars since its very first episode. Since we have formed a partnership with CatchPro, a lot of Aussie Lawn Stars have made orders using the code LawnStars10, and I really appreciate your support. To continue supporting Aussie Lawn Stars, you can purchase your supplies and industry products from the CatchPro website with the code LawnStars10 in all caps. I know there's a cost of approximately $30,000 to start up with gyms, and it varies depending on the equipment you buy, things like that. I think it's about $18,000 to $20,000 for the cost to buy into a franchise, and then equipment on top of that. So for you, and I guess this is where some of the criticisms would come up. Is they'd go, "How can he have so much money?" Did you have a good set of savings behind you when you decided to buy in, or have you sort of struggled financially to that point and gone, "All right, this is an awesome opportunity to get financially set up"?
Okay. So, like I said before, when I was doing chefing, even when I moved to Orange or even from Sydney, I always do something on the sides.
Yeah.
Dubai sell cars, fix things, sort of. So mainly cars. I love cars, and I had few good cars during that time, and
Nice.
extra cars I sold them. Did have few money, and like I said in the beginning, my brother helped me a little bit.
Yeah. Okay.
But like you said, I paid 20,000 for gyms, and already had a trailer. I had mowers, whipper snipper, blower. So initially, I didn't spend much. See, after I joined gyms, that's where like I need to change my trailer because it's not efficient, because I'm wasting time and it is getting tired. Not organized and not professionally. So I bought the first gym's trailer when I went to Melbourne.
Okay.
I didn't think like any business owner in the beginning, just go and do something and realize later on, oh, I should have done that. I should have done this way.
Yeah.
So I regretted first, should have put a tipper on it. First few weeks into gyms, because of the leads and the work we did, it was really hard.
Yeah, because unlike me, you catch a lot of grass.
Yes, I love to catch grass. Yeah, so
We'll
the money
about that later.
Yeah, so the money, yes, I did invested. I did had money, of course.
Yep.
But I kept investing afterwards just to make it more look professional, to do things easier, and to make in a systemized way.
Yeah, so I'll say it, and you can tell me I'm wrong, but I think this is fairly accurate. You had jobs that pay reasonably well before you started in your own business.
That's correct.
So you were financially, you were in a reasonably good position. Like you say, with also doing things on the side, you're able to accumulate some good assets with cars and whatever else to help you.
Yeah.
So when you started in gyms, you were already on the front foot financially, meaning you're good. But then you keep reinvesting as you started at gyms as well. So what you're earning from gyms, you kept reinvesting in equipment?
That's correct, yes.
So what did your first ride-on mower look like?
So the first one was that Husqvarna. That wasn't a commercial one. That was before I joined gyms.
Yeah.
Put that for $4,000, I think, a year before that.
Yeah.
Just to see a ride-on mower in person. I didn't really need a ride-on mower that time.
That sounds like my first ride-on. My first was a Dixon, which Husqvarna and Dixon were almost identical at the time because Husqvarna bought the Dixon brand, so the parts were very similar. And it's zero-turn, but it was a residential zero-turn.
Yeah. Nice. Yeah, so when I joined gyms, I bought a Honda mower. I did have a Husqvarna one before, push mower too. Yeah. And I bought a Hustler S36 with a trailer. Hustler was my first ride on S36. Loved it. Really nice mower. But few weeks into the business, I realized it was in even Feb and March, still grass growing like crazy.
Yeah.
And I wasn't really happy with not about the cut, the mulching. So I'm like, it is not looking good. No, it's not the way I wanted it,
Yeah.
And I want to catch it, and I bought the what's that company called? The Queensland one. Sorry.
The mower that you're talking about?
No, the catcher for all the ride-ons.
Catch Pro. Catch Pro.
Yeah, Catch Pro, sorry.
Yes, Ben Vandergeesen.
Ben's, Ben,
I've got a code for Catch Pro, so if you spend money on the Catch Pro website, use LawnStars 10 and you get 10% discount.
Sure, I'll do next time, yeah. So I bought the Catch Pro catcher. Still, it was good for maintenance stuff. It's not for overgrown or anything.
Yeah.
It was getting hard for me, and I thought there should be some other way to do this easier. can't be this way, and start digging and start investigating and researching in social media and Google. And I found this Gianni and Walkers.
Yes.
Start comparing stuff, and
Both great machines.
and they're both great machines. I did see them face to face from Orange, the Walker store in Orange.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't want to buy a brand new machine, first of all,
Of course.
because the investment side, if you think about it, it is huge. So I thought,
Well, a Walker brand new is going to be around $40,000 to $50,000 for their commercial grass handling
And-
system.
that's great. And if Gianni, it's even more.
Yeah, I think they're at around 70,000, maybe 60 for the smallest one.
Yeah, that time probably the price all more price gone up now. So I think they're above 70K now.
Yeah.
Depending on the model anyway.
Yep.
And I did come across with the Gianni guy and ambassador. So
Daniel Smith.
Daniel Smith, and I text him like, "But I can buy these ones, you know." And he texts me the guy, and he asked me, "What are you after?" I'm like, "I want to buy a second-hand mower," and he was like, "I might sell mine." I'm like, "Sure?" And he said, "Yes,
Yeah.
okay, I'll come tomorrow." I was making fun of like that, and he said, "No, tomorrow let me think and decide." A week later, he came back to me and said, "Look, I'm ready to sell it. This is the price. If you're ready, I can ship it to you." I never seen Gianni more in person before. I did saw a few other contractors here. So I decided I'll get my trailer and I'll go to Queensland. And I went to Hervey Bay and did see that machine. Loved it. Gave the money and picked up and
Yeah.
started doing with that one. And yeah, ever since made my job so much easier.
Yeah.
So that's how I slowly kept investing in the business, yeah.
So that's like a full day drive to go up to Hervey Bay from your place, at least a full day, yeah?
Yeah, it was around 13 or 14 hours.
Well, that's a big day.
Yeah.
Yeah. My wife wouldn't do it. She'd be like, let's stop halfway and do the rest of the next day. I'd be like, no, let's do 14 hours in one day.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, so you went up there. Did you test the mower before you brought it back, or you just hand the money over and brought it back?
I didn't have to. Like, there are so many good contractors. We're all same. I don't think nobody wants to put in a bad situation.
Yeah.
And yeah, so.
Yeah, unfortunately it happens though. I think even when Daniel bought his first Gianni, had some issues with buying the first one in terms of it not being up to the quality he was expecting.
Second hand or brand new?
Second hand. So I think his first one was second hand, I'm pretty sure.
I'm not sure.
Anyway, I did an interview with Daniel Smith going back.
Yeah, I did watch that back that time. Yeah, I did watch that.
Yeah.
He did actually. Yeah, he actually gave me a few parts. He's supposed to change things, and he told me these other thing is due, and I had to change the blower and stuff. He already got the parts for me, and all I did brought home and replaced everything, and that's what I did. Yeah, he explained me, he showed me. He even made a special video for me how to change things and how to do this, because those maintenance jobs are nothing. Maintenance wise, no videos or anything on social media, or even no way.
And
so he did help me a lot.
Like, you're a car person, that would be right up your alley to do your own maintenance.
Yes, but mechanical wise, yes, anything with the engine related or stuff like that. This is a lot more things going on there, you know, different sort of belts, and you know, the blade system works different. Everything is different. The machine is also totally new to me that time.
Yeah, so once you get into the hydraulics and the engine and things, there's a lot to it.
Yeah.
A fairly complicated machine.
Yes, once you know, it is pretty easy stuff to maintain.
Yeah. Yeah, so do you do the work yourself once you got it back, or did you take it to the local shop to do it?
There is no local shop in here. There is the dealer, Roy, he's the salesperson in Sydney. If any doubts, I'll ring him. But we have a good relationship now. He come this way, we go for lunch, and whenever we go there, even when for the LLE last year. We were together
okay.
all the time. So
Yes.
it's really such a good person. And also TQ, they send the parts pretty good, pretty quickly.
That's great.
And yeah, so that's all the support I need, and rest of the things I can manage. If any doubts, I always can ring them, but
Yeah.
now I don't call them much.
So you
I'll
had to
figure
teach
it out.
yourself to
That's
do
right,
the work
yes.
yourself. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I thought you'd
Yeah.
do. I'm like, yep,
Yeah.
you'd be Mr. Fix It.
Yeah.
Okay, so how long ago did you buy that Gianni?
So I don't know the exact date, but it'll be 2 or 3 months after I joined gyms.
So it'd be close to 12 months ago then, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so you've had it for long enough to be really familiar with it, and you're still in love with it, or you sit there going, oh, I hate these machines?
No. I love it.
Yeah. Well, like Daniel Smith, like you make your business model around the work, and the machine saves you so much physical labor that it makes
That's
your lawns look good, and it makes you look good without having to do as much physical work.
Yeah. And I abuse that machine, don't get me wrong. It's like I do a childcare every autumn in Orange.
Yeah.
It's got maybe 40 different trays there and all falls. And in order to play for the kids outside, it is so risky. And they call me every year, and we're still doing it.
Yeah.
Then once that leaf's gone, the only way, if you're doing a push mower, there is no way you can do it. What I do, run the Gianni, blow everything into the middle, run with the Gianni, collect it, done.
Yep. Yeah, okay.
So
does that fill the Gianni up a couple of times when you do that job?
yeah, three or four catches every week.
That's decent. That's a lot of leaves.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So you would then have a surcharge in there for having to take all of the green waste away because the amount of leaves is so massive.
But we don't, in Orange, there is no charge for green waste.
So you just take it to the tip that's free to dispose
Free,
of.
yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Most places you have a tip fee for green waste.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. There's something else I was going to ask you there. I can't remember what it was, but I think in terms of talking about your setup and that's what it was. So, we need to come to this sparring over catching versus mulching, and you're saying in Orange you need to catch. A lot of places around Australia you don't need to catch. You can mulch quite well. That's what I've done in my area. A lot of properties can be mulched rather than caught. And if you go to Brisbane, no, got to catch grass because the type of grass that they've got there, it looks horrible if you don't catch it. Same, what you're saying is in Orange, that's the same, right? Is it the type of grass, or is it irrigated lawns, or is there a combination of those two things?
It's a combination of those two, plus leaves, plus the cut after. The finish, doesn't matter how many times you go with some lawns, doesn't matter you do 10 times over it, it still look terrible. And it was personally my stuff, like I didn't really love that finish. That's where I started investigating. It wasn't, there are many contractors still do mulching here, and I would say in Orange at least 6 or 7 Giannis here and few walkers.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah.
That's a lot of. Are they independent contractors, or are they
independent contractors, gyms contractors? All of them got it. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I was wondering whether there was institutions like a university or something that has their own mower that has that.
No, they got their own stuff, and the council work. The companies do the council work. They got walkers. Many other independents got the walkers. And some of them got Giannis. I think I've seen at least 6 each.
Yeah, okay.
Walker and Gianni, yeah.
I've found a couple of the regional towns, like the more rural places like Orange in New South Wales, do lean towards catching. And sometimes it seems to be because they use irrigation in a remote, dry area. It's like they've got to irrigate if they want to have green lawn. And so it makes more sense to catch the grass in that sense.
Yeah. And not only that, like, not everybody wants fortnightly service, and not everybody doing it.
Yeah.
And some customers, they can't afford, or they don't want to spend. They don't really care the look of their backyard, and they
Yeah.
call us in every 3 months, 4 months,
Yeah.
and
Fair enough.
we need to have a solution for it. So, of course, they're not gonna spend that much money. So when we
Yeah.
have the tool, and when they see those things, and of course that's what they're gonna do too. Not everybody wants well-maintained lawn. It's not everyone's.
So what I consider in that, and this, get varying mileage when we look at, say, Tim the Lawnmower Man, Nathan's Lawns and Gardens on the social media in terms of the difference they do just between those two. But then also when you're talking about you've got a fairly good social media presence, or when you look at what contractors consider to be the best point of sale and marketing when it comes to how you'd service customers like that. My view has often been if they can't afford much, then a slash and dash job is what they actually want to pay for, rather than making it look pristine. So, a job that you might do for $700-800, I would turn around and say, well, that's a $200-300 job if it's just a slash and dash, just drop the grass, not actually mulching it, but just side discharge and go and leave. And it looks terrible, but they want cheap.
Yes, some of them want cheap, but some of them still happy to pay for that service if you can collect them. There are people for every niche. That's what I find out. Yeah.
And what I've told people and what I've seen other people do in our industry, if you're running a really good business model, you put 3 prices in front of those customers. So do you want it to look horrible? Do you want it to look good? Or do you want it to look the best? And if you give them the 3 options and price points for each of those options, most people don't want horrible. They want the middle option. So that's where, if your middle option is catching the grass, they'll be like, oh, well, what's it cost to pay for to get that so that it doesn't look horrible? And they want that.
Yeah, most of the time when I used to do that, give 2 prices.
Yeah.
They usually pick the good one. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you just word it so that the bad one sounds bad. Like, this is...
Yeah. That's the sales thing, I'm still learning it, but yeah.
What I've said to people is, if I give somebody a residential job a quote, it's like you can be my worst customer, my best customer, or my most expensive customer. But if I had one of my listeners actually did that, they said, "Do you want to be my worst customer?"
Yeah.
and I said, "Oh, maybe we need to rephrase that a little bit." But I actually think it works in what we're saying here. Like, if you actually make it sound bad, like, give a caveat. Like, this is still an acceptable level of service that I'm happy for my business to provide, and not have other people saying that's terrible. But it's not really where you should be.
That's correct. The other thing is, like, if you're in a main street of people noticing, and if you're doing, like, if I park my truck and trailer there with the Gianni and Skag or Hustler, and I'm just taking my Hustler or Skag to mulch it and leave the mess there, and if I go, they will be judging like,
yeah,
he got there, Kevin, why you do that? But there is cause for it, but people will think like, oh, that's Jim's or whatever, Jam or whoever it is. They're not good,
Yep, of course. And so you need to think about your business reputation there. And that's why I say my worst customer is still a respectable job. It's still something I'm happy for my business to be judged on.
Yeah.
So tell them you'll be my worst customer, but it's still going to be at a level that I'm happy with. And that's, I guess, for a lot of routine maintenance, that's where most of us say, well, fortnightly is the expectation for my business. If you want it cut less than fortnightly, then you're not a regular customer. You're a one-off job, and that price gets judged accordingly, because I want to know that the jobs I do regularly and routinely, people look at and go, yep, that's good. If it's a one-off job, it's going to have a different look about it. But you're saying, even with your one-off jobs, they're going to come up looking really good when you use the Gianni.
Yeah. One-off job always, like, even some customers call in between whenever they want it. It's take a bit more time and a bit more effort to look in good back again,
Yeah.
They don't realize that.
Yeah. That's true.
Yeah.
Helping customers to understand what you're offering and to try and match what you're offering with what their expectations are. It takes a little bit more than the average person coming into an industry might initially think. And I guess that's where, having a Facebook group that helps people to learn the industry is really beneficial to them, or having a franchise model that helps to point them in the right direction is really beneficial, right?
Yeah.
To make sure that they get that.
I've got a quick shout out to our sponsor, Sortscape, at sortscape.com/LawnStars. Job management built specifically for lawn mowing and garden maintenance. If you're still running your business off a paper diary or a basic calendar, Sortscape gives you the stuff they can't. Drag and drop scheduling, route optimization, automatic customer text and email reminders, plus job timers, so you can track time on site and cut the after hours paperwork. Visit sortscape.com/LawnStars. It also keeps your crew organised with customer history, notes and photos right in the app, so you're not relying on memory or pretty sure we did that last time. Visit sortscape.com/LawnStars.
Hey, so Jab, looking at what you're doing, there's a bunch of systems. Now, we've just been talking more about the hardware side of it. That is a system in a sense, right? And I want the listeners to hear in their mind, this is a business, and these are systems that help your business to function and be profitable and efficient. Right? Those are the words I like to focus on. Yep. Do these things I do, are they things I can implement, either writing it down or recording it, documenting it to say, hey, this is actually something I do regularly, so it's a system. Is it something that improves my business, helps me achieve goals? Then that's awesome. So using the right equipment for the type of work you want to do, like using the Gianni, makes it a great system. And I think when you join gyms, they actually have a list of recommended equipment to buy to make sure that you can work at a professional level. But you haven't really necessarily followed Jim's model on that, because you've gone for the Gianni. Not every gym is going to run a Gianni. What did that look like when you signed up with gyms? Like, because I see gyms mowing franchises they actually ask me, like, Gary, what systems do you see in gyms? And I'm like, well, there's all sorts of systems. What did you see when you first called Dan and you're like, all right, I want to sign up? You go down for was it 6 days of training?
Yeah, 6 days training.
What comes to your mind when we talk about gyms having systems?
So systems, I love this topic. It is never ending, but I'll put it this way for easier. So anything you do in your business that makes any repeatable stuff. When you start running business, anything repeatable stuff, and you follow a structure for it, the way you want to do, that's called a system. With the gyms, it's they will train you, like, they have the systems called, like, you call the customer in less than 2 hours whenever you get a lead. That is a system. But when you have those systems, you always call them as soon as possible, right? So the way always whenever I call my clients, when we get a new lead, they always, oh, that was quick. People don't expect those things. So as soon as you can do those sort of little things to improve your business, like when you're sending your code, detail everything. And as soon as you send the code, just tell them, I just send you the code, If any questions, feel free to ask. And the next day, if you didn't hear back anything, just follow up that code. Those things are called systems, but you don't really have to physically do these things, when there is CRMs and stuff, and to do, this sort of area, just use those things. That also a system. Outside from your tools, the way you work it, the way you contact the clients, the way you do the job, after you do invoicing and following up the invoices, whatever, they all have a system. It'll really help you in long run, and it will save a lot of time.
So some of those things you've mentioned, you can write a document and say, this is the documentation for my business. These are KPI that I can measure, like how quickly I return a call when a customer contacts me, how quickly from when I speak to them until I actually give them a quote. did the follow-up go out within 24 hours or whatever time frame you set? So those things you can actually set KPI for, and key performance indicators is the acronym KPI comes from. It's easy for you to go, okay, I can make these systems documented. Gyms is really good at actually measuring some of those, but also really good at helping you to set them up and make sure that those ones are right. And that they're pretty invested in the customer service systems.
Yeah.
As a measure for if your franchise is achieving the standard that Jim expects.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, so I guess once you get outside of the standard things that Jim has listed, like the trailer needs to be his colour green, you return calls within 2 minutes or 2 hours or whatever the expectation is there, there's a bunch of things you can do to go, okay, am I actually making sure my whole business is working well? Now, you mentioned CRM. I think that's one that is optional within gyms, but it's highly recommended.
Yeah, there is no limit. You can build your business the way you want. You can hire staff. You can do the gyms thing is we just need to follow the basic system and the agreement between the franchisees and with the company. That's all.
Yeah.
You can do anything to improve it or to build it even more. There is no limit for your equipment or the tools you need to use. There is no such things there. There wasn't any issue when I purchased my trailer or the equipments. I changed 2 green trailers, and since I started, then I bought the truck, and people started complaining me like, you don't have a signage on the truck, and there was no issues with my franchise at that time. They didn't notice. Even I didn't notice. I thought only one trailer need to be signage, and had to do that last year. Had to paint it, and so what I'm saying, like, you can do the way you want. There is no such things, okay, you can only do this way with the gyms. This is at the end, it's your own business. People think that as soon as you buy gyms franchise, you're working for them. You are not. You're still doing your business the way you want it.
Yep. Interesting.
With the following their guidelines, that's all.
Yeah, of course. And so, some people see that as really restrictive, and they're like, I would never sign up to a franchise because I don't want to be told what to do. Other people, like you say, like, it's guidelines that some things you need to meet, other things you've got a lot of room to move within their guidelines and do it the way you want to do it.
Yeah, and you don't need to really join gyms to do a business. For me, it was really helpful. And there are so many contractors here in Orange and Bathurst. They're not gyms, and they're still doing really good. It probably took them some time to get where they are now. Like, building that early stages is always hard. That's where gyms really helps. That's what I noticed anyway. Yeah.
So that's one of the systems that Jim has operating in the background that you don't even own. You pay a monthly fee to know that Jim does things in the background that benefit your franchise. And so that helps a whole lot. One of the things I think is really critical there to talk about and be interested on your perspective there is they send you leads, but you actually pay a lead fee for each lead. But they send you leads for your business, and you can switch them off if you want to switch them off. You switch them on when you want to grow the business.
Yep.
When you actually grow a business in gyms, it seems to me the goal is to grow a business as big as you would operate without staff, but they don't stop you from putting staff on. It seems that gyms encourages franchisees to consider splitting their run if they grow to a certain size and consider selling a run. That's a popular recommendation.
I don't know, but I haven't done it or haven't seen, but in Orange and Bathurst, in Orange, there is another franchisee. They got quite good team there.
Yeah.
And even few other franchisees I know, they got good team. I don't know if they're selling or not, but it's up to you though. Like, you don't really have to sell it.
Yeah, you don't have to.
It's up to you though, like how you want to do it. Sometimes, especially staffing can come an issue, and you feel like you can't handle it, that's where if you want to sell it, you can sell the clients. Yeah, why not?
Yeah, okay. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they kind of give it to you to decide what you want your business to look like. It does seem from an outside perspective like the preferred path is often that split and sell. But yeah, obviously you can do either.
Yeah,
Keep
there are
growing,
so
keep
many.
putting on staff.
Yeah, there are so many franchises. The 6 staff, 6 crew on the road. So many different people doing different way. Like it's
Yeah.
at the end, it's their own business. They can do whatever they want.
Yeah, for sure. But that is a pathway that is guided by a system, or multiple systems even, but a system that Jim's has, which says this is what you can do as you take on leads. You can go down these paths.
Yeah. And look, there is no such a bad thing about it. Like if you got 150 clients and if you want to sell 50 of them, you get a chunk of money out of it if you want to do that. And if you have confidence to build that again, you can do it. Some people make money that way too.
Yeah. And I think inside a franchise, when you sell a split with Jim, so you sell 50 customers off, the value of those customers is higher than if you're independent.
Probably the quality of the lead also higher. That's what I noticed. So the reason, like I said, when I first started, I tried to do social media, ads, flyers, stuff like that. I couldn't turn anyone, right?
Yeah.
Since I joined James, I was getting really good clients. And also that time I started doing some community group posts and few other social media posts. I didn't convert any single job from my social media. And after that, when I noticed that I'm not going to make it, I didn't really aim to do that after again. The reason, always the Jim's lead was always quite good leads. Not 100%, again, there are still people checking prices and stuff. But compared to my experience, when I compare it, like Jim's leads always were really good quality leads.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So that's why I never ever post for a job in the social media. I just make fun videos and whatever I do, that's all. Because some people do that, especially just to gain more clients.
Yeah.
It's a lot of work, getting client details, emails, address, and the time they want to ask. As soon as they contact the call center, it is really easy for us. Like all details there. We just need to ring them and say, we come and have a look and send them the code, I don't really like that. I mean, at the moment, at least, don't have time to, do that inquiry side. It consumes a lot of time.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it seems like social media for our industry is great for connecting with other people in the industry. But yeah, it's more about establishing your business amongst other businesses in the industry, and then where new customers come across it, it's sort of a validation for them to see, oh yeah, this is the level of service that he provides. It's not really a marketing channel.
Yeah. I don't know, for some reason, I did not turn any single job through my social media.
Aside from the social media there, as you've grown your business, have you reached the point where you've gone, I've got enough customers, my schedule's full, or are you now putting on a staff to keep up?
Yeah, I did. It's not just the schedule. Testing, like, how can I grow this? At one stage I was like, I can't do this whole day every day. But if someone there to help me, probably I could make a bit more, or I don't know how that works. And I start hiring.
Yeah.
A few months after, made a few good ones, and tried a few different people. Someone came, someone had to go. Still I got one, my chef mate, he's still helping me.
Oh, yeah.
And so what I noticed, your margin will be less, your expense compared, as soon as you have staff, your workers' comp and other expenses and, traveling, those sort of, you're still paying for it.
Yes.
So your margin will be less, but you can do a lot more things. And if you want to grow it into next level, or, you can do it. Yeah. You just need to price it accordingly and schedule it. You don't want wasting time here and there and organize things properly. If you don't do it, you won't see any money coming. I mean, you'll be see money coming and it'll be going same way.
Yeah. Now, Luke Smith talked about this in terms of the efficiency of running a business, and he said once you go to a two-man crew, you lose a margin, you lose your profit margin on the business, and it's less efficient to have a two-man crew out there doing work than being on your own. And exactly what you're saying, unbillable hours travelling between jobs, you're paying for two people to travel between jobs instead of one person. But when you're solo, you don't think about that because it's just yourself. You don't necessarily pay yourself a wage. You just go, how much money did the business make?
Yeah,
when you've got to pay a wage, you start going, the cost of labour is the most expensive part of any business.
Yeah.
And that's when you start going, am I paying myself a wage? Should I be paying myself a wage? How do I actually know where my profit margin is rather than it just being how much am I paying myself from the business?
Yeah. That's where you just need to focus on your numbers. Otherwise, it is hard. If you don't look in properly, a couple months later when the BAS comes and the tax time comes, that's where you will struggle. Yeah.
It's a good problem to have, but it's certainly something that is something you don't foresee until you start going, how much does labour cost if I put on an employee? And I've got to pay them when I'm not getting paid.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Luke Smith video, I remember that. And that's why I never ever put two people, even if it's one person with me, I don't really work with them. Does that make sense? I'll be spending time on coding or visiting customers or fixing any other issues.
Yeah.
Especially with my setup, it's not for two people. Only if it's a gardening or some other sort of hedging or sort of jobs, that's where you need someone help. Otherwise, the setup is for one-man crew. And the sim really help as soon as you put a second person with them full time. You won't see much difference. Yeah. Does that make sense? Because I try to do with anything with the, if any machine or equipment can solve the labor, that's what I'm going to use.
Yeah, okay. Now, I would say that if you want to grow your business past being solo, having a two-person crew is still the most effective way to take on more work. So if you send out another person, an employee, without you to do work, that's less efficient than if they work beside you.
Not necessarily. Not everyone, though.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because I did think that way. It's depending on the people who's working with you, though. I did notice that. Plus, two-person, you have 2 times traveling free, those things, and always will have some time you can't do much. But one person, if they're good, I think still better than, because you can focus on building the other side of the business,
Yeah.
That part, if you want to train someone, and it's going to take way longer than on the tools.
Definitely. The way I look at it, and I think the GEMS model supports this. If you send one person out and it's not yourself, like you're motivated to make the business more efficient, but if you send an employee out, they're not motivated to make it efficient. So when you send out 2 employees beside each other and it's not yourself, you've got 2 employees working together, you're going to lose efficiency. But if you hire one of those employees to be a team lead, then the expectation from that hire is that they are qualified and motivated to lead another person, and they get paid a little bit more to do that. So then when you send 2 people out together, then it's not yourself, then you get a level of efficiency that you can't get on somebody that's just on their own. And it's real hit and miss if they're on their own, unless they own the business or they have a pay for performance business model. So in that sense, you're moving back towards the franchise model that is very much a case of going, you as a franchise are very motivated to run a business. And at some point Jim said that. He said, I can't do all of the work myself. If I pay somebody else to work with me, that works to a point. What if I actually turn them into a franchise and go, all right, you can have these jobs, but you are responsible for your own business and therefore motivated to make money.
That's right. Yeah.
So it's a bit of a circular thing. But that's where most business models, when they grow, they start putting on staff. They go, all right, hire somebody who is willing to be a team lead, so that that person can be sent out with another person, or even 3 people in one vehicle. But I think two people is the sweet point once you're growing in that path of going 2 people per vehicle. You can have 6 vehicles out on the road. That's 12 staff. You might have 15 staff because you're always going to have somebody calling in sick, right?
Yeah. That's right.
I guess what I'm getting at is that the efficiency of paying wages looks very different to being a business owner and just being out there yourself. And trying to
it is totally different. Yeah, it is. I don't know. So many people do a different way. The way I do it makes sense to me. One person on the crew, explain them, schedule everything properly.
Yeah.
Explain them, give them notes in their app. What are you going to do there? And that's it. No extra, no less. And try to keep that. Of course, you're going to spend extra time during the training time for a few weeks. And this is what your expectations are. This is how we do a job. And as soon as you have a good staff, it is not that hard.
Yeah.
But the hardest part is finding that good stuff.
If you're out there tackling strata sites, commercial grounds, retirement villages, or those tough summer acres, a full commercial mower makes all the difference. That's why more commercial contractors are switching to Right Standers, the original stand-on mower, available in Australia through Cox dealers nationwide. Built tough for our conditions, the legendary AeroCore deck delivers a flawless, even cut every time. Quick manoeuvrability in tight spots, compact design for easier trailer loading, Kawasaki or Briggs engines, hydro gear drives, and a serious commercial durability. Stand instead of sit for less fatigue, better visibility, quicker jobs, and more profit in the bank. From the Stander B for great value to the X or ZK for next level performance, everyone is raving about the upgrade. Head to rightmowersaustralia.com.au or your local dealer today. Be sure to mention Aussie Lawn Stars. Right Mowers get the job done faster, cleaner and easier. Your back and your business will thank you.
So let's just explore this a little bit more, right? I hear what you're saying. I'm not disagreeing with you. I want to just throw in an example here that I think gives a little bit of perspective for people. I know you've got more than one vehicle, right? So you can go out in the truck and you can send an employee out in your Hilux?
Yeah.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
If the average person is going, I want to set up a second vehicle for an employee or even 2 employees to go out, you've got the vehicle, and that might be $5,000 or it might be $50,000. Then you got the trailer, and if you're setting them out with a Gianni, they're going out with $150,000 worth of gear by the time you go vehicle, trailer, mowers, whip snippers, blowers, bits and pieces, hedge trimmers, right? $150,000 worth of equipment that you send out with them. To my mind, I'm thinking that makes more sense to have 2 people attached to that asset value that is going out, so that the assets that are going out, the equipment, are earning more money rather than having one person looking after $150,000 worth of equipment. Whereas if you go, we could also set up a second-hand ute and a second-hand trailer and just a push mower, whip snipper and blower for $20,000. And that would change that. You go, all right, if I'm sending my employee out with $20,000 worth of equipment, then sending one employee out in each vehicle is more cost-effective. Do you see what I'm going, Dion?
I do. I think the other way around is worked for me.
Yeah.
So one person with the good equipment, he's faster because got the imagine if you're doing a cash mow, and if you're doing with this normal ride on or stand on or whatever, it's gonna take way longer than the Gianni, right? Or a Walker.
Sure. Yes.
So and the edging, what it's gonna take? 10-15 minutes max on a big job.
Yeah.
And the rest is on the mower. And if you that person, if they're doing one job, like one person on the edge trimming and another person on the mower, there is always that half an hour or 45 minutes gap. He can't do much.
Yeah, where that
You know.
person's not doing anything.
That's right. So that's why I think one person crew is work better for me. And
course.
if they want help, of course, always go and help them.
Yeah.
I'm not in the stage at the moment to do another crew, which I do have the tools and equipment, but
Yeah,
I'm
of
not
course.
in that stage yet. Because if you look in
Yep.
yearly, the cost of the staff and the equipment, the staff is always higher.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah.
So I guess the perspective there, I think, changes depending on the jobs too, because there are jobs where you go, okay, I can send out 2 push mowers and have the 2 staff juggle between mowing and doing the edges and the blowing or gardening jobs while they're there. But if it's a small job, that makes sense. So I would say if it's up to 500 or 600 square metres, even 700 square metres, you go, okay, it's fairly easy to make sure both people are working efficiently and still working through till the end of the job. But if you're doing 700 square metres through to half an acre, that's sort of like 2,000 square metres, then you need that ride-on mower, and you can't have 2 ride-on mowers in that vehicle necessarily. You could, but
You could, but yeah.
yeah, it's less likely to work well if you get to that property size, I guess. And I'm thinking Orange, you've probably got more properties that are over a quarter of an acre, so over 1,000 square metres, where that ratio, the value of that ratio drops off drastically once you're over 1,000 square metres.
Yeah. Yeah, many properties here are quite large. A few in town, in the middle of town.
Yeah.
Everybody got at least 600 square meters. Most of the year. That's where I did invest in the big gears, because imagine if you're doing that push mower or, slash it, yeah. What's the other reason? I found out just after a few weeks. That's where,
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Good,
an
invest in
interesting
good
topic.
gears. Yeah.
So I guess one of the things, you said the cost of the staff is the most expensive thing there, right? And I agree.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
If we look at the cost to performance ratio of putting somebody on, I would hope to see that, like in Australia, just generalising, that one staff member is going to bring in over $120,000 worth of business. So the amount of labour that they can put out should bring in over $120,000. When you own the business, you can bring in over $200,000. But if you're paying a staff member, say over $120,000, maybe up to $150,000 if they're really efficient.
Yes. And you're paying around at least $70,000 a year plus super.
For wages. Yeah.
For wages plus, especially our industry, workers' comp is at least $6,000 for one person. If you are in that $70,000 mark.
Yeah,
if you pay more,
right.
of course. Yep. Yeah. So that 6% plus 12% super, it's going to cost you around 80 plus, right? And by the time other expenses, GST, tax, what are you left with?
So you want to know that you're hitting around 20 to 30% profit for every job that employee does.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I guess that's where you need to know what those numbers look like. If you're putting a team of 2 people out there, you go, okay, potentially they might get from 120,000, they might go up to 200,000 with 2 people out. Maybe if they're doing really well, they'll be double the income, but unlikely.
Yeah. There are a lot of people, contractors do that, 2 people crew. Nothing wrong with it. It's working for them. It's fine. I tried it with myself and other staff with me. And what I noticed, we're still doing the same sort of hours. And again, I have to come back home and doing the bookworks and other stuff. Yeah. And again, need to go for coding and stuff. And I didn't see much difference there. So what I did is I tried in a way, they do their own, with the truck and trailer and do the jobs for me while I do my bookwork, coding and other stuff and building the business.
And I think that like there's a lot of variables we've just talked about in terms of whether that works with a two-man crew or not, but it also makes a big difference whether it's you on one of the crew or whether you have two people that are not you. So if there's two people out there in that crew that you've got out working and you've still got time to go out and do the quoting and you're separate to them, then that frees you up to do the business things while they go out there and both of them are working on cutting grass.
Yeah. Yes. But again, it is so many other variables too, like how far every job's in between, what sort of job they are, like, so.
Well, you're
you
talking
could
about
try
traveling from Orange to Bathurst. If you've got two people in the car, how long does it take to get from Orange to Bathurst?
50 minutes. So it'll be when we go with the trial, it'll be 1 hour. So it'll be 4 hours there.
Yeah.
Two people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a lot of travel time that you're not earning money.
That's right. And the fuel and other cost.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a lot to consider, isn't it, when you talk about it like that?
Yeah.
It depends where you are. It depends if it's 2 minutes between each job or you got to travel for an hour to get to the next job.
Yeah, true. Even though there is still so many, I don't think we can call them customers who wants $50 cut these days.
Yeah, for sure.
It is so hard to convince them that you can't make everyone understandable or you can't convert every customer.
Yeah.
But still there are people, they think that, it is expensive or like there's supposed to be $30 or $50 cut. I don't think there is not such a thing because people, what they're doing is Googling it. And Google will tell you $30 to $50 an hour.
Yeah. Well, I guess the thing that I see there is no one size fits all in Australia. If you look at what you're doing and then you go to inner Sydney or Wollongong where there's 300 square metre blocks of land, like say 450 to 500 square metre land with the house on it, and it's literally like 100 square metres of lawn in those properties, and they can do 5 properties before they move the trailer. That's a completely different look, and you might go, okay, if they're doing a property with 2 people in the crew, they do a property in 10 to 15 minutes, then the pricing is very different to where you're going, the average job takes 45 minutes to an hour and a half.
Yes, and I saw that when I went to Sydney last time with my friends' area.
Yeah.
They're all like just under 400 square meters block, including the house, I think.
Yeah.
There are companies, there are contractors doing the same thing. I don't know how much they're charging, but they're doing couple in the same street and 2 people, some of them coming with the kids, like 3 of them. One person do edging, one person with the push mower, move on to the next property. Yeah, it depends where you are.
I think the average job in Australia is based on that, right? So there's a lot of properties that are those, like if you're single, it might be 35 minutes to do it. If you've got a crew of 2, it might be 12 to 20 minutes, right? But those are the average. But also when you're talking your area or my area, you might be doing a quarter acre block, and the average Australian has in their mind, if they're paying around $80 for a service, oh yeah, I can part with $80, but if I've got to part with $100 or $150, that hurts. So I'm going to think more about, can I get it cheaper? Whereas if it's $80, $70 to $90, they go, oh, I'll just pay it. It's done. And so those jobs, whether it's 450 square metre block or an 800 square metre block, you'll find there's not a lot of variation in price there. When you
also, I think those small properties, like in cities, they take more time. Like you have a lot more edging to do, right?
Yes.
A lot of walkway paths and little things and garden beds. Where we are, it's not much edging. I mean, there is still edging. You're probably walking longer, but you don't have smaller yards. Always hard. Like so many edges, and when you push more, doing more turns, it's not, it takes a bit more time, I think, or similar time to the 600 square meter block, I think.
I guess what I would look at there is going, okay, for an average property, you've probably got a roadside edge and you've probably got a footpath. Then you might have garden edging, and so garden edging is going to add a lot more time to the edging. If you don't have a garden edge, like we're talking about vertical edges that you're doing, right? Compared to if you're just doing a bit of flat edging along a fence line, it's much quicker to tidy up. So if you're doing a lot of vertical edges, it's going to change. But I would say across those residential size properties that vary hugely in size, 10 to 15 minutes of edging. And then the size of the mower will determine how long you spend mowing. And so the mowing could vary from 5 minutes of mowing. And if you're talking the smaller properties, like a push mower, 21 inch or even up 30 inch Time Master, you probably find that those small residential properties are getting 5 to 20 minutes of mowing. But then once you go up in size, you start going, I'll get a 32 inch stander, or I'll get a 42 inch sit down right on machine, or even bigger. And so the mowing time will change based on the mower that you're using. But often that won't change the price that much.
That's yeah. Yeah. I don't know how much. I don't know what is the minimum rate in cities. Do you have any idea, like what they're charging
It
for a
varies
minimum
hugely.
job? Yeah.
It varies hugely, and I've seen people doing the same job, but they value themselves differently, and so the customer just, they get that. If you turn up and you're wearing your uniform, you speak professionally, you don't sound like you're off your face on drugs or that you don't care. You speak professionally, you turn up with your uniform, you're like, oh, this is what the job's worth. The customer goes, oh, Jabir said it's worth $150. The next person turns up with a half-broken trailer, a push mower that takes 5 minutes to start, and they go, oh, I think I can do it for $80. The customer's sitting there going, oh, he sounds expensive, even though you were twice the price.
Yeah.
Right?
That's right, yeah.
So perspective in the customer's eye makes so much difference, more so than what the job is actually worth.
That's right. They just want to get it done, and they're paying for that result and the experience.
Yeah, look, I've talked to a few people about this. There's an interview I did a few weeks ago with Ezra from the US, and he's got this perspective of marketing is everything. So having a good website, having good Google Analytics and Google and Facebook marketing budgets is where he is all about, making sure those things work really well. Completely different attitude to somebody like myself who's almost 50 years of age. He's much younger. He thinks differently. Really valid points is the perception of the customer makes a huge difference to what you're looking at, and how confident you are based on you being professional and knowing what you're talking about affects that perception from the customer hugely. So you answer the call within 2 minutes, you quote the same day, you give a professional quote that says, hey, I really know what I'm doing. Makes a massive difference to somebody who doesn't have a uniform, they got a ripped shirt, they don't have signage on their trailer, all these different things that really affect that. It makes more difference than the actual price. You can charge $200 for a job, and you can charge $50 for a job, and the customer won't bat an eyelid at either of those. But if you have the ripped shirt and you don't sound confident in your pricing, they start thinking you're ripping them off.
It's true, like marketing and the way you present it. I do have an example when you said that. A few weeks ago, I got a gym slate. They asked for dethatching and coring. Yeah. When they had a look and we had to chat and explain the situation, what they want, I upsell a few other stuff like, fertilizing and top dressing and stuff. And it was initially $1,500 job. It turned into $5,000 job. Yeah. Sold it, done the job, everything. They're super happy. And after all, his wife told me, you sold us. Like, we really didn't think about that or didn't want to do those things, or they don't, they wanted or don't want that time. But I convinced them. The result was good, of course. But they were like, you sold us. Like, the way you presented, the way you talked and you explained and you explained the solution, and they were super happy and confident to spend that much money, and they did it. And she told me after I paid the invoice and stuff, she said, you actually sold it to us. We didn't want to do the other stuff. Yeah. But once we done it, they're happy. And I think that's where the way you present things and explain things, that's really matter. And for sure, the customer paying for that service and the result. And what we spend half a day there, like two of us. That's what we did. That's why when somebody knocks on my door and says, hey,
we're looking up and down your street, to looking at whether you've got solar on your house. I'm like, go away. I already believe in solar being on my house, so I'm not doing it because somebody knocks on my door.
Okay.
But being able to, like, and they try and shove their foot in the door, not really physically shove their foot in the door, but they try and go, oh, no, I'm not selling you solar. I'm talking to you about whether you've actually got what works for you at the moment.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm not listening. I don't have time. I'm cooking dinner. I've got five kids. No, I don't. I don't have 5 kids, but I'll tell them, right?
Yeah.
I've got my hands full. I'm not listening to you. Go away.
Yeah. But other side of it is people are looking for their problem solution too. Like, and when we explain things, okay, he can do it and let him do it, then we don't have to worry about it. And people are happy to pay for it, And they don't have to find someone wait for them and, doing the coding and do the other research. If someone can solve their particular issue, people are happy to pay for it. And that's what you should be aiming to.
How you present it to them makes a big difference as to whether they see that you have a solution or whether they don't trust you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So,
and
if you look at their lawn and you go, that's not a lawn, it looks like a drug dealer's house. Do you want me to fix that? Here's what it can look like. Look across the road. See that one that's brand new house with a beautiful lawn and beautiful gardens on it? Yeah, we can make it look like that.
Yes, that's
it.
You just need to tell the truth, yeah. You just need to tell them the truth. That's all it is.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. So that's awesome that not only did they say you sold us rather than that's what we wanted, but we're really happy with what you sold us.
That's right, yeah. That's that feeling you need to, that sort of feeling all the customers want. Same thing, whenever we go somewhere, we expect something and don't really worry about what we're buying or eating or, any restaurants or the way they give us or trade us. That's all it matters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you can go to a restaurant and say the customer service is terrible and I overpaid for my Big Mac.
Yeah.
Right? And then you can turn around and go to the restaurant across the street from there and say, I just paid $300 for a meal and I'm happy to leave a tip because it was that good an experience.
Exactly. Yeah. That's all every human wants, that experience, good experience.
Yeah. So same thing, food, belly full, go home, content. One of them, I didn't like it. The other one, I really enjoyed that.
And the difference is what sort of food you want. You want to go to Macca's every day or you want to go to good restaurants. That's what sort of customers you should be aiming to. The more you deal with more Macca's, you'll have more problems. And more you deal with good customers, they're happy to pay for it and less headache. As long as you're giving the good service and solving their problem.
I'm trying to line up a couple of interviews at the moment. This is, it's not really about you so much. This is just interesting. But on this topic, the interviews I want to line up are talking about that because the majority of our industry is either cowboys that don't care or people that are like, well, we are an expert. We're giving our customer the best quality lawn or garden and they're paying a premium price because we are the expert and we know what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Two extremes. Like the cowboys don't care. Yeah. The other ones are like, well, I'm charging your premium because I'm... And even then, people who are experts often undercharge what they think is a premium. That's not always true, but it's often true in our industry.
Yeah, yeah.
There's a few people that we see online that are saying, hey, I'm all about providing the Macca's or the Domino's experience. Fast food or fast, I'm in and out of your yard quickly and the lawn looks average, but you're happy enough that you're paying for something to just be kept tidy. That's all we ask.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And it seems to irritate people in our industry when somebody comes against the grain and says, I'm not after providing, I'm not targeting the high-end customers like you are, Jab. I just want those middle-of-the-road customers that just don't want to see me. They just want to know that it's not a mess. And I'm really efficient at doing it. I don't charge heaps, but I can get out and do 20 jobs in a day, 16, 20 jobs in a day.
Yeah.
And make bank.
Yeah. No. I don't really specifically chase for high-end customers. I don't think that's what I do. whoever contacts me, my solution, my answer to everyone is same. And depending on the size and what they're after, that's where the price difference is. Depending on what sort of, of course, if it's a hedging 3 meter high, they want a reduction, of course, that's going to cause, you know, yeah.
But when you're cutting lawns and cutting grass, how many people are going to say, yeah, I'm really satisfied with Macca's and Domino's? Well, a lot of people are going to choose that based on their budget, but are they actually happy? So, yeah, identifying where the customer is happy in terms of the quality and the budget is, like you say,
that's the question.
You can serve anyone if those two things line up.
Yeah, but I don't think you can do that. Managing two of them is hard. Like, you have to compromise something, If
the customer has to compromise, right? Not you.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, you pay more and get good service and good experience, and make sure your loan is perfect, or you pay a little bit less or less, I don't know, and you deal with the rest, like the mess or the result.
So I guess this comes back to, do we just make long grass short, or do we approach the customer and say, let's talk about what your expectations are and how we can meet that. These are the steps I can put in place to make sure we meet your expectations. This is what it will cost.
Yeah.
And then they can choose whether they're happy with it.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Yeah, we're kind of going around in circles, but that's a really interesting topic. For me, that is why I do this podcast, is helping people to understand how they can convey expectations to customer at a level where the customer buys in and goes, yeah, this is something that works for me.
Yeah. No. Understand, yeah.
Yeah. Hey, Jab, look, it's been really good talking to you. I think we've covered most of the things we want to cover. Is there anything we've missed that you can think of?
No, I actually forgot Luke Smith and Cashflow name. I want to say sorry to them. Because when you asked me so many pressure questions, I'm like, I can't remember their name. I'm sorry, Luke and Cashflow. Always a fan of Luke Smith and his videos, plus Cashflow. We buy a lot of stuff from them too, yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, no, they're both good. Yeah. So, Jab, look, we've gone through your history. We've gone through talking about gyms and their systems. We've talked about the systems that work really well for you as well. Just in terms of your equipment, I think that's a great spot to finish up. So at the moment, you're predominantly the person on the ground doing the business, but you do have a couple of people that work with you sometimes to do work, and they run separate.
One person.
One person at the moment?
Yeah.
Now, you've got a truck with a trailer? That's where you run the Gianni from?
Yeah, Gianni and Skag.
Then you've got a ute with a trailer?
Yes, it's not that trailer doesn't work full day. I mean full week. Does that make sense? Okay. So that is for specific reason. Like that's a tipper trailer for rubbish removal and stuff. And when I started, I told you about the other company, the support working company. I do a lot of stuff for them. So that is my what do you say? Like that trailer did a lot of other things. That trailer do more things than mowing or rubbish removal.
Sure. Yep.
So that's where that thing's paid off like that, just in a few months' time. So
we've got two vehicles set up that can do mowing, but also within that you're doing a lot of cleanup jobs and other things outside of that.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
But those two vehicles can both be out at once if it's you and the your off-fighter employee.
Yeah, we do that.
They're working. Yeah. You've got the Gianni Ferrari, which is your workhorse.
Yes.
Then you've got Skag
32. That's for the small gates.
Yep.
And I've got Cup Cadet 54-inch.
Yeah. So is the Cup Cadet one of those ones that's really good on the slopes?
Yeah, that's the one. Yep.
Yeah. Nice.
And few push mowers and
Yep. And then all the handheld equipment as well.
Handheld equipment, yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, all right. Well, that's given us really good insight into what the equipment looks like. Some people just want to know what the equipment is that you've got. Like what brand of hedge trimmer do you use? What push mower do you use? But
I'm a fan of Husqvarna.
Yeah.
Husqvarna's commercial stuff is really good. And anything if you're doing buying for business, just buy the commercial stuff. I did buy 2 Husqvarna non-commercial stuff which broken. So I wouldn't. It's not just a Husqvarna. It's just any brand you buy the commercial stuff.
Yes,
It'll save you a lot of time and less hassle and breakdown and issues.
Yep.
But otherwise, as long as you're getting the good commercial stuff, you should be fine. And it's not really matter what equipment or what brand you're using, as long as the customer's getting the jobs done properly.
Yeah,
that's the main thing. And really don't worry about what brand. Most of the brand, they're same thing. What they do, they cut the grass. Some of them catch, some of them don't. The rest is same.
Yep. Now, are you using much battery equipment?
I do handheld. Everything is battery. I still use petrol, but time to time for overgrown and stuff. Anything maintenance, that's fully battery. Yeah.
Yeah, fair. No, that's great. Does that mean you've got your set up so you can charge while you're on the run, or do you just have enough batteries to
No, I do have enough batteries, and even the charger, it's just at home. 20 minutes, it'll be fully charged in 20 minutes. So
yeah,
big charges and stuff at the station there.
Yep.
So awesome. Yeah, I don't really never run out of batteries. So.
Yeah, okay. So we've got a really good insight into what your equipment looks like, and I think we've covered everything we wanted to talk about. So look, thanks for jumping in the dungeon and having a chat.
No, thanks for having me. It was great to have a chat with you, and thank you.
No worries.
Thank you for listening to Aussie Lawn Stars. Please remember to rate and review the show on the Apple Podcasts app or the player you use. Exciting new shows are released every Monday. Make sure you follow or subscribe to hear the next episode.